Hi all, a very warm welcome to CBSE Maths 100 Term 1 with me, Ramya. If you're watching this video, it means that you're having one main objective, and that would be to ace the Term 1 mathematics exam. CBSE has announced that we will be having a board exam in November or December time, and you want to ensure that you can do it well. So at the end of this lesson, we would have created an awesome 8-week action plan to help you with this objective. Let's now look at what I'm going to be covering in this session. First, we will see what we are facing currently. And then we will see what we are doing in terms of our preparation at the moment. At the end, we will see what we should be doing next in order to ace the mathematics exam. What are we facing? What we are facing now is the impact of the decisions taken up by CBSE. So initially, earlier on in the year, CBSE announced that the paper would be competency-based. After that, CBSE announced that there would be 2 examinations, Term 1 and Term 2 exam. They also announced the deleted portions for each chapter, and they announced the reduced syllabus. And now we have also come out with a sample paper where the new pattern of the paper has been discussed. Let us look at all these changes. So first change, the Term 1 syllabus. You only need to prepare for 8 chapters for the Term 1 exam, and each chapter has its own deleted portions. If you look at these chapters, real numbers, polynomials, linear equations are chapters which were expected any which ways in Term 1. Triangles is a big chapter. The complete chapter is there except for 2 proofs where you don't have to learn the proving bit. Otherwise, questions based on all concepts can be asked. Coordinate geometry, you are having a deleted portion. Introduction to trigonometry, few parts are deleted. Areas related to circles, again, a little part deleted. Probability, complete chapter is there. So these are the chapters which are going to be tested for you in Term 1. And another major change is the fact that the question paper would have 50 questions, out of which you are expected to attempt any 40 questions, and the marks allotted is 40 marks. Now, how is the division of these 50 questions? You're having 3 sections, Section A, Section B, and Section C. Sections A is easy to moderate questions. Section B, slightly higher level questions where a little more conceptual understanding is required. Section C is based on case studies. If you look at the number of questions in each, so here you have 20 questions in Section A, 20 questions in B, and 10 questions in C. And the number of questions to be attempted in each section is 16, 16, and 8 with same marks, 1 mark for each question. How is this pattern different from your previous patterns? Well, it is no longer a choice between a question from one chapter or another question from the same chapter. Here you have a choice that within a section, within a block of 20 questions, you are allowed to select any 16 questions that you want to attempt. Again, over here for the moderate level questions, again, Section B, 20 questions, attempt any 16 questions. For Section C, which is case study based questions, you don't have to attempt 4 questions from each case study, as is the case you have been practicing in the previous year. Here, you just need to attempt 8 questions totally from 10 case study based questions. So 2 sets, 5 questions each, attempt the best 8 questions which you can solve. So there's greater flexibility here in terms of how you can select, and you are having only MCQs over here, right? Now, your target score is 40 marks, which needs to be scored in 90 minutes. How do you get to this 40 marks in 90 minutes in 1.5 hours? That is something which you need to really think about. You are roughly getting 2 minutes per question if you are leaving a time of 10 minutes for checking. So 2 minutes per question for the 40 questions you're attempting, 80 minutes, and 10 minutes extra, which can be allotted for checking the paper. Now, the impact of these changes is that we need to be clear with all the concepts from each chapter. When you're solving MCQ questions, 1 mark question, you need to be good with your conceptual understanding of each chapter. Only then you will be able to solve problems better and hone the art of problem solving. It's an art which needs to be developed, skill which needs to be developed. And you need to be a champion test taker, which means you need to develop skills on solving tests faster and accurately. Let us see what we are doing currently. It is important for you to understand at what stage you are right now. And you need to see what you're doing correct at the moment and what you're not doing right at the moment. For this purpose, I want you all to attempt a test of 4 questions in 4 minutes time. I know I just mentioned that you have roughly 2 minutes per question, which gives you 8 minutes. But what we're trying to do in this exercise is to check your current level in terms of conceptual understanding and in terms of managing timing. All the 4 questions which you're going to see next have been picked up by the sample papers released by CBSE this year. So some questions from the basic paper, a few questions from the standard paper. I want to see how much you can score when you have to solve these 4 questions in 4 minutes. I will be showing a timer which you can use as a reference. Remember, your aim is to get maximum marks possible in these 4 minutes. So let's start. I hope you're looking at the timer. You're having a minute left. That's it. Let's see how many you got correct. If you have got 4 or 3 marks in these 4 questions, that means that conceptually you're doing fine. And in terms of managing your time, you're doing quite well. In case you have got 1 or 2 marks, that could be because of one of two reasons. One, maybe you only know the concepts for 2 of the questions or 1 of the question. You're not sure of the concepts of the other ones. And you have spent your time solving only those questions which you know. That is one possibility. That just means that you need to pick up on concepts for the chapters which you have not studied. But what if you knew the concepts for all the 4 questions, but still you got only 1 or 2 questions right? In that case, it means that you need to learn techniques to solve the problem faster, and you need to manage your time much better. If you have got none correct, then it could be a combination of all these reasons which I mentioned. Conceptually, you need to improve. You need to learn techniques of solving questions, especially when they look different from the standard type of questions which are presented to you. And of course, you need to work on time management. I'll just show you quickly how I would solve these questions in a quicker manner. So you will have an idea as to how it is possible to solve these 4 questions in the 4 minutes time which I mentioned. If you look at the first one, you are having a circle and there is a square which is inscribed in it. Whenever a square is inscribed in a circle, it means that the diagonal of the square is the same as diameter of the circle. To find diameter of the circle, we'll use circumference, which is 2 pi r is equal to 100. Now, what is 2r? 2r is same as diameter. So diameter into pi is 100, or we get diameter is equal to 100 by pi. Now, this diameter is same as diagonal of the square. And what is diagonal of a square? Diagonal is equal to root 2 times the side of the square. This way, we get that the side is equal to 100 by root 2 pi, which upon rationalization will turn to 50 root 2 by pi. That's the answer for the side measurement. In the second question, you have a parallelogram where when vertices are taken in order, you're given the values of the coordinates, and then you need to find the value of x and y. So for a parallelogram ABCD, what can we say about the diagonals of the parallelogram? The diagonals bisect each other, correct? Which means that they have a common midpoint. What is the formula for midpoint? It is sum of x coordinates divided by 2, comma, sum of y coordinates divided by 2. Now, that means that the sum of x coordinates of A and C divided by 2 is the same of x coordinates of B and D divided by 2. Or in turn, you could say sum of x coordinates of AC is equal to sum of x coordinates of BD. That means that you have 1 plus x is equal to 4 plus 3. On solving this, we get x is equal to 6. There is only one option where x value is 6. So you could mark A directly. If you're not sure of your calculations, we could go ahead and solve for y. Same logic. Sum of y coordinates of AC must be equal to sum of y coordinates of BD. That way you will get that 2 plus 6 must be equal to y plus 5. This will imply that y is equal to 3. And hence the answer is, of course, 6, 3. Let's look at the next question. The least number that is divisible by all numbers from 1 to 10, both inclusive. Here, we can eliminate options 100 and 1000 because 100 and 1000 are not divisible by numbers like 3, 7, and 9 for sure. The answer has to be one between 2520 and 5040. How do we find this answer out? Remember what the LCM means? LCM is the product of highest powers of all the prime factors. So let's check which all are the prime numbers which comes from 1 to 10. The prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, and 7. And in these prime numbers, let's see what's the highest power that appears. The highest power of 2, which comes in a number between 1 to 10, is 3. which is 2 cube equal to 8. So we'll put 2 cube here. For 3, the highest power which comes is 3 square, which is 9. So we can put 2 here. For 5, it will be 5 itself because 5 square does not appear as one of the numbers between 1 to 10. 7 also, we leave it as it is. So the answer for the least number over here would be 8 times 9 times 5 times 7, which would be 40 times 63. And when we calculate this, the answer would be 2520, right? That's the way we solve this quickly. The next question, number of solutions of 3 to the power x plus y equals 243 and 243 to the power x minus y equals 3. Now, in order to do this, we need to understand how you calculate the number of solutions for any two linear equations. You just check the ratio between coefficients, correct? Here, if you look at the linear equations involved, x plus y and x minus y. Now, we don't know what the value of x plus y and x minus y is, but the fact is a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2 here. A1 is the coefficient of x, which is 1. A2 is the coefficient of x, which is again 1. 1 by 1 is 1. B1 is the coefficient of y, which is 1. And B2 is the coefficient of y in the second equation, which is minus 1. Here we are getting this ratio is minus 1. 1 not equal to minus 1, which means that this would have unique solution. And hence the answer for number of solutions here will be 1. Those of you who knew how to calculate the powers, that is okay. You can do it that way as well. You would be getting x plus y is equal to 5 here, since 3 to the power 5 is 243. And you get x minus y equals 1 by 5, since 3 is the fifth root of 243. All right. So this is the way we answer these questions quickly. Now, I realize that I've solved these questions quite quickly, and not everyone might have been able to follow the line of explanation in case you have been doing these questions in a standard long step-by-step method. See, in order to do these MCQ type questions quicker and with accuracy, you need to have certain critical thinking skill sets. And only then you can become an expert in solving these MCQs. How do you become an MCQ expert? Well, there are 3 things which you need to learn, which is different from what a rote learner does. See, a person who does learning in the standard way, mostly these are kind of people who prefers theory questions. And in connection with maths, it is people who prefer questions which are very familiar, very similar to what has already been done. But an MCQ expert would be a problem solver. They practice more questions. They try to do it fast and they solve more tests in order to solve these questions quicker. Second thing is, a rote learner would be a person who prefers watching and learning. That means you're having a class, you just watch the lesson, and then you hope that you remember maximum. But an MCQ expert is a person who first tries to solve and then learn. If they're not getting the answers right, then they look out for solutions, then they look out for help, right? And another thing different from a rote learner and an MCQ expert is a rote learner feels that they have to read the question and then directly start solving by maybe writing all the important information from the question, writing a lot of steps, and then arriving at the answer finally. But an MCQ expert reads both questions and answer choices simultaneously, and they understand what is the main question asked. What is the concept behind that before trying to solve and arrive at the final answer, right? So now we have seen what we are facing in terms of the changed patterns and the new syllabus. We have also seen what we are doing currently. How is our current level of preparation with respect to the maths exam? Next, what we are going to see is what you should be doing now in order to better your performance in the exam. As I mentioned, I have created an 8-week action plan. Depending on the point of time that you're watching this video, this 8-week action plan may change to 7 weeks, 6 weeks. It is okay. You can modify the plan to suit the time that you're joining this. Totally, there would be 45 videos which you need to watch. And these videos will definitely help you boost your performance. So the key elements of CBSE Maths 100 would be the weekly work schedules, case study tests, and full-length mock tests. This is what you're going to be advised to follow anytime you're going to prepare for a math exam anywhere. You need to have a proper schedule set where you're going to assign time to math separately every week and practice. Case study tests would be important. You need to see how you can reduce the time you take to solve a case study set so that you can get 5 answers correct at one go. So I will be having a test for each chapter, and this will be followed by a video explanation of the same. There would also be full-length mock tests, which will help you boost your performance. And these would be in the exact same pattern as the CBSE sample paper, right? Okay, let's look at what is a week-wise segregation of the topics. So if you see, you have already started with this video and then 3 videos dedicated to real numbers. So there is a topic-wise segregation over here where I will be reviewing the main points to remember from these topics. And then that gets followed with a case study test, which you will take up, and then my video explanation for the same. Similarly, for polynomials, you can see there is a topic-wise segregation followed by a case study test on polynomials. Linear equations also, there would be separate concept-wise MCQ discussion followed by case study. In this way, by the end of week 4, you would have covered 6 chapters. 6 chapters, that is real numbers, linear equations, polynomials, coordinate geometry, triangles, and trigonometry. This would get covered by the end of 4 weeks. Now, in case you're watching this video later, if you're joining this course a bit later, then these are a total of 6 times 4, which is 24 videos. These videos can be even covered in a period of 3 weeks if you're looking at 8 videos per week. So depending on where you are with respect to your preparation level and what point of time you're starting this course, you'll need to adjust how much you watch per week. In the next week, that is week 5, we will be finishing with our concept-wise discussion for each chapter. So by the end of week 5, you're already done with areas related to circles and probability as well. What do we do for the remaining 3 weeks? This is the time where we're doing intensive practice. So week 6, we'll be again doing practice of various type of MCQs, a little bit of assertioning reasoning questions in case these type of questions decide to make an appearance. And we will also have more case study tests. So week 6 and week 7 is completely devoted to these type of videos. And in week 8, you will be having 3 full-length mock exams, which needs to be attempted. These tests would need to be completed in 1.5 hours. And after each test, I'll be making sure that I follow it up with video explanation of important questions from that test. So this will give you a complete and thorough preparation, which is required for your math exam. Now, what is the commitment that I require from you when you're following this plan? See, it's not enough that I say that I create these videos, I've created this CBSE Maths 100 program, and automatically, just by watching the videos, your performance is going to get super enhanced. No. Remember what I mentioned earlier about being an MCQ expert. You do not just watch and learn, you need to solve and learn. So what is the best way that you can make use of this 8-week program? Well, assume that you are starting this course on 15th September. In this case, week 1 would become September 15 to 21. Week 2 would then be September 22 to 28. Week 3 would be September 29th to October 5. And then week 4 would become October 6 to October 12. Right? So here, what we see is that from September 15 to October 12, again, I'm assuming here that you're starting off on September 15. You make a plan depending on which date you're starting off with this program. So from September 15 to October 12, Your aim is to complete videos from real numbers to trigonometry. So you're covering these 6 chapters: real numbers, polynomials, linear equations, coordinate geometry, triangles, and trigonometry. Whatever preparation you're lacking with in these chapters, simultaneously make sure that you're covering in these 4 weeks. The best way to do this would be if you're looking at the week 1 videos where we are covering, let's say, fundamental theorem of arithmetic first. So we are watching the videos, you're learning along with me and practicing along with me, but make sure that you're doing your additional practice required in terms of NCRT textbook, NCRT exemplar, any other question bank that you're using simultaneously along with this. So if you go in this format comfortably, you would be able to cover everything within this week 4. In week 5, which would be October 13 to October 19, you will be covering the complete portions then. By October 19, you're done, finished with all the portions required for the math exam. So concept-wise explanation also I would have given you tips as to how to remember the concepts, solve the MCQ questions from that chapter. After you're done with this, you will be starting off with your MCQ practice, assertion reasoning practice, case study practice, as I mentioned. Make sure that you are attempting these questions on your own. Try it again if you're failing in the first attempt. Please do this. You need to attempt on your own and not just directly go to the video to listen to my explanation. So this we are doing from October 20th to October 26th. This we would be doing from October 27th to November 2nd. And here the last week would be November 3rd to November 9th. So you're done with your additional practice in this week 6 and week 7, where you're doing a recap again of the chapters. And by week 8, you are completely done with portions and you're attempting 3 full-length mock tests, which will give you an accurate idea of how much you're likely to get in the actual exam. So this is the way you should make your week-wise plan by looking at the dates. As I mentioned, depending on date that you're starting off with the course, modify the dates, make a planner and stick to it. And in terms of watching the videos, there are 3 key points which I want to discuss. You should know what you need to do before watching any video, what you should be doing while watching the video, that means during the video itself, and what you should be doing after watching the video. Now, before watching the video of any concept, so let's say you're doing a polynomials, zeros of polynomials concept video. So you already have the topic. You know that you're going to watch this lesson with me. As I mentioned, I am not going to teach the complete topic. That's not my aim with this course. My aim is to give you the practice, to give you inputs on how to solve problems faster, how to conceptually answer questions. That's the aim of this course. So what you should be doing before watching any concept video is go through the concepts, just revise the concepts of that particular topic and solve the NCRT questions which comes from that particular topic. Solve these NCRT questions and then you will have a little more confidence. Later, you can watch the video. Now, while watching the video, what you should be doing? You should not relax and sit and just watch the video as though you're watching a movie. That's not the intention. Remember, you do not watch and learn, you solve and learn. So what you need to do while watching the video is, as each question appears on the screen, pause the video. Pause the video, attempt the question on your own first. Identify where you're getting stuck, how much time it took for you to solve the question, and then proceed to listen to my explanation and see whether you could have done it faster. If you have not got the answer at all, you're not able to attempt the question, it means that that is a question which needs to be revisited. Ensure that you're maintaining a notebook for this course separately, where you are making a note of all the important points that I'm discussing. You're making a note of what are the kind of mistakes you made while solving the questions, highlighted in a separate color, highlighted in some red color or something, so that later when you go back to this notebook, you will remember not to repeat those same mistakes. So ensure that you're doing this while watching the video. After watching the video, you should go through the questions again. go through the questions, go through your notes again so that it sticks to your memory. And wherever you were finding a lack of understanding of certain type of questions, make sure that you go through a question bank. This question bank could be the NCRT exemplar book. It could be any worksheets that your teacher has given you. It can be also renowned authors' publications like R.S. Agarwal or R.D. Sharma. You can also use Oswald books, exam idea books, Arihan books. So stick to any one question bank which you are using and ensure that you're solving additional problems from that particular concept where you're finding tough for you. All right. So this is what you're supposed to be doing whenever you're sitting down to watch a video in CBSE Maths 100. And the time commitment required for this would be around 7 hours weekly. That's it. You don't need anything more, but nothing less either. 7 hours weekly you devote to this. 3 hours in watching the video and 4 hours where you are doing your pre-video work and post-video work and your revisions associated with it. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video. I wholeheartedly welcome you to this course. Stick with me during these videos, stick on with the program, and you will definitely find tremendous results. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.